Hi everyone, my name is Pavan, and if you have seen my previous videos, by now you would know that I'm trying to record videos for questions which I think would get asked during interviews, especially if you're applying for front-end role. The question that I'm going to cover is being asked by few companies, and I would say this is an important question to practice. Uh, so the question is, try finding all the available meeting slots for a given input. Now, what's going to be the input? The input is going to be a nested array where the rows could comprise of arrays within them, which is it gives you all the times when there's a meeting. Um, and what you need to find out is that are there any time slots in between uh, where we could where the person is free to have meetings uh, which can be scheduled later. It's a common thing with calendar where you want to find out if a person has got available time slots. Uh, so this is a question. Please do ask requirements before getting into coding, um, and like do ask if the input is sorted, not sorted, um, and could there be overlaps between meetings? These are some of the questions that you would ask, and most likely there will be some overlaps. Uh, and we have to build a solution for it. So let's start building the solution. I think the first thing that we need to do is we don't need the multi-leveled array. We can flatten all of it. So let's assign intervals and let's take the schedules and flatten it. Fortunately, we have a flat function, which is now available with ES6, which you can, it's part of the array prototype. And you can just call flat and it flattens it. Now, if they say you cannot use the flat, then you can write a function to flatten it. I actually even recorded a video on how to do that. It's you can use reduce, and then you can check if it's a type array, and do a concat by recursively calling flat again. If not, just pushing into the array. Now, the next thing is we want to sort it because we know the input is not sorted. So it's important that we sort it with the time, and we are going to use the 0th value of the array in this case to sort. So let's take S1 and S2. And we're going to do S1 0 minus S2 0. Cool. So we flattened it and then we sorted it, which is what we did over here. Now we're going to create an empty array, which is output, which is what we're going to return as the result of this function, which is going to comprise of all the available time slots for the given user. We're going to use a last value. For now, we would assign it as 0. But this is an important one because we'll use this for doing the comparisons. Now we are going to iterate through the array. So which is, we're going to use a simple for loop. You can use even for each if you want, but for simplicity, I'm using a simple for loop over here, which is intervals.length I++. And the interval is equal to intervals.I. Now what we're going to check is if the interval 0 is greater than last. So if the current value is greater than the last value, which is the one index value of the array, like we're going to check if 11 in this case is greater than 15. So we are checking for the 0th value of the current array against the first value, the value at the index 1 of the previous array. Now, if interval 0 is greater than last, that means that there's no overlaps and there is an available time slot where the user has free time. And we're going to push that into the array now. So the first value of that is going to be last. And the index 1 value of that is going to be interval 0. So this is one of the free available time slots. Okay. The next thing we're going to do in this case is we are going to reassign the last. So the last is math.max of last or interval 1. So we're going to take either this value or the existing last value and assign the max value of it as last. And over here, we have already returned the output. So this most likely is the solution. Let's go over the solution again. We flattened the array because we don't need this multi-nested array, and we sorted it, and we use the 0th element of the array for sorting. We are maintaining an empty array with the last value, iterating through all the elements and checking if the current interval 0th value is greater than the last value index 1 value. And we're going to push that into output. But now there is an important point over here which we have missed. So we're looking at 24 hours time slot, right? So we could now have a value of last, which has not yet reached the 24 hours. So we would check if last is not equal to 24. That means that we still have an available time slot, right? So we are going to now push into the array again, which is the last value, that's 24. Because the last, we didn't reach till the end of the day, which means that we still have the time available during the end of the day for that given user, which is going to be from the last all the way till 24. Now, this is very important. This helps you cover up for the last slot, which might not have got filled up. Cool. So let's run this and see if this satisfies and runs. Awesome. So this is the solution for findMeetingSlots. As I said, it's an important question. It's an interval question. You can see, like this is an approach that you would take for any intervals where you would maintain a value which could be last or the interval itself, which is the last interval, and keep comparing against it to satisfy your solution. Cool. Thank you very much. And as I said, I'll keep recording videos. Thanks for watching this.